Hi, I'm Sophie and welcome to my world. Today we're going to be making an inspired project, inspired from someone just like you. This is a book report cover with a pocket and with actual paper. So you could use this as a notebook if you wanted to, or you could use it as an actual report cover for a report that you would write and turn in. Now this came to us from one of our viewers. Her name is Caitlin, and she actually came up with this for our duct tape book contest, and I think it's a really great idea. So we're going to be using a couple different things to make this project. We're going to need some scissors. We always need scissors. We're going to need for this project 3 of those brass brads. They're called brads, and they're just like a little button that has 2 little wires that stick out the back. You can get these at stationery stores. You're going to need a ruler, a 3-hole punch, some duct tape, and then to make this nice and sturdy, I'm going to be using a base. And my base for this is actually going to be a cereal box. Now, luckily had 2 cereal boxes that were exactly the same size, and that's what you really like to have if you can. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a cereal box. It could be any kind of box, but you want that box to be at least as big as a piece of paper. So see, this is bigger. Here we go. This is bigger once we open it up, and I'll show you. What you do when you're opening up your box is you're just going to pop the bottom off. You want to try to carefully pop it off so that you don't rip it too much. And then you open up the edges, and then your box should just flatten out. And that is the perfect size right there for a folder. Now, this is 16 ounces, so I would say that, a pound of cereal or something that's in a pound box is probably going to be about the right size that you need. All right, so what we're first going to start doing is we are going to cover this entire thing with duct tape. And you can do that any way that you would like. Now, one thing that you will see about this box here is that it has a little squidgy. That's where it locks itself after you've opened it up and you want to put the box back together again. It has this little nubby. We're going to cut that little nubby off because we don't need that nubby. It's going to stick up. So goodbye nubby. There you go. See, scissors always come in handy. Okay, there goes the nubby. Now we're going to cover the entire thing with duct tape. Now what I like to do is cover it in such a way here that I'm going to measure. Okay, what I want to do is I want to cover it and close it at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. I've got enough, there we go, enough to go up and over the edge here. So what I'm going to do is take half of my tape, stick it on the top of my box. Now see how I've left, there's half of it is still sticky. See how I've left half of that? Now when I flip this over, I can secure my box and make it stay closed. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom here. Now don't get too concerned if you miss a spot. Like see here, I've missed a spot. Don't worry, because you're going to come back and cover the entire thing. But this is just to make sure that it stays shut while you're working on it. Okay, there we go. So you can see how it's shut on both sides there. And now I'm going to cover the entire thing. Now, you can use whatever technique works best for you. If you like using longer pieces, you can use longer pieces, place them down, and then wrap them around. If you like to do shorter pieces, if you like to go this way, it's really up to you. However you want to cover this, you just want to cover the entire box. Now, a lot of people are finding, that duct tape is getting expensive. And I don't want that to become an issue with you when you're making this project. So you don't have to use duct tape for this part of it. If you've got, wrapping paper, or if you've got even like cool magazine pictures or anything like that, you can cover your entire box with that. And then what I would suggest is once you've got it covered, come back with packing tape. Packing tape is that clear tape that you use when people are moving and they want to close boxes. It's called packing tape. It's clear. And you can get that at most hardware stores. And the thing about packing tape is that it is inexpensive. And you can get a lot on a roll, unlike some of this fabulous duct tape. Okay, now, just to show you what I've done here. So I've covered this entire thing, and you can see that these edges are sticking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold these edges over. All the way up. And do the same on the other side. Now I've got a little piece here on the end that doesn't have that's not sealing to itself, so I'm just going to snip that off. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to cover the back. And see, I'm going to come back and cover all this, so it doesn't really matter. But you could use wrapping paper. I mean, I'm a very, 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 very big fan of, like, at parties and stuff like that, saving wrapping paper. People think I'm a little crazy, but I like just take the wrapping paper as it's being unwrapped and I fold it really neatly and I put it into a box, especially if it's really pretty. And you can secure it to this box with that fabulous glue, that glue stick glue, because that works great with paper and will work great with cardboard. Okay, I'm almost done here. Now see, you can see this has used a lot of duct tape. Probably going to end up using almost a whole roll. So think about other materials that you could use. All right, I'm going to fold these ends over and up just to secure them, and over and secure them. Now if you want to, you can come back and put a strip here and a strip here, but I'm not going to do that. Now I'm going to move on to the next step, and I've already made my second one. So you're going to need 2 of these, which means that you're going to need 2 cereal boxes. So the important thing to remember is that you're not going to want to do this project until you've got 2 cereal boxes that match. Okay, now I'm going to give one side a pocket. Now to do that, I'm going to use a piece of duct tape fabric. I've already got mine made here. And the duct tape fabric is just going to fit right in here and make a pocket. So it's basically, I'd measure here, and it's 8 1/4 inches by 6 1/2. But you're going to want to make it whatever size your box is. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of this duct tape. Now, I only want to go to the top of my pocket. Don't want to go over the top. So I'm just going to go halfway here. See how that's half on the side there? Then I take it, do the other side. The reason I'm going to do both sides like this is just so that they don't slide. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, so half and half. Take it, flip it over, fold it over on this side, fold it over on this side. I'm going to trim off that little bit of extra. Snip and snip. And now, right now, anything that I put in here will slide right out, so I need to secure the bottom. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape, put it on the bottom, flip her over, and there she is. She's secured in place. Now, if you want to, you can just use this as a great little pocket, but we're going to turn it into a file folder. Now, to do the file folder part, I'm going to take my second side. The most important thing is we need to figure out exactly where my paper is going to go. So I've got some paper over here. So I take my paper and figure out where my 3 holes are going to go. I'm going to use, I don't have a pen here today, so what I'm going to actually do, I'm going to teach you a little trick. Be very careful when you do this, but you can open your scissors and make a little mark here, make a little mark here, and make a little mark here. Now really, really, really be careful when you do this. Only an adult should do this because it's very easy to snip your finger and you don't want to do that. Okay, so you can see I've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 holes. I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm going to go ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. Now you might need a strong pair of hands here to make this happen because you are going through 2 layers of duct tape and 2 layers of light cardboard. So 1, 2, 3. And take my papers, This is where we get to use my wire brads. I love wire brads. Did I tell you I love wire brads? I love these things. So I'm going to take it, push it through, and then you open these up in the back. So one side is a little bit longer than the other, so it makes it easy. So you take the longer side, pull it down, pull it down. We're going to put in our second one, pull it down, and we take the third one, pull it down, pull it down. Okay, and now I flip it over, and I flip this one over. Now, really, really important thing to do when you're doing your folder, make sure that your pocket isn't upside down. So this is the way I want it to be, this side and this side. This is exactly perfect. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to pretend I'm flipping it over. I'm going to go flip over, and I'm going to flip this one over. So see, when I pull it up, you can see that my pocket is on the bottom. It's very easy when you put this thing together to put your pocket upside down. Not going to work. Okay, so you want to put it this way. Oops. Okay, like that. All right, I'm folding it down. Now we want to leave a tiny little bit of space in here. And the reason we want to do that is because if we push it too close to it and we seal this, it's not going to fold. It's going to kind of want to keep popping open on you. So we're going to give it a little teeny bit of space. Now there's a problem there though. Can you see what the problem is? There's going to be a little bit of sticky duct tape there. So for this, we're going to actually create a special piece of duct tape, and I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to take our piece, and I'm going to use the blue here. We're going to want it as long. Going to want it as long as our file folder here. Now, tape loves to stick to itself, so just be careful when you're rolling out this piece. Okay, so I'm going to want it that long. Now, here's the deal. I don't want this stickiness to be like sticky. I don't want it to be sticking, and it's going to stick right through that center alley there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create right down the center what I call a racing stripe. So here's my racing stripe. Take the exact same size. I'm going to take this and I'm going to rip it a little bit more than a third. And I'm placing this right down the middle. See that? It's a racing stripe. See the racing stripe? Okay, the racing stripe is going to go right down my alley, right here. So I put the racing stripe right there, right down the alley, and seal and seal. See that? Now, what I've done here is two things at the same time. One is I've covered up those brads so that those brads aren't going to be poking out, and I've left this in the center here so it's covered and kind of smooth so that when I close this, it closes nicely and there's no stickiness. Now I do have a little bit of extra up at the top, and I can just cut that with my scissors here. Snip there and snip there. And that's it. Now you can go to town embellishing. I'm not going to take your time to do that right now, but know that you could put a little pocket on the front with your name and all the information about it, or you could put pictures on here or stickers, whatever you want to do. You can have a lot of fun and go to town. But it makes a great folder. What's nice about this is it actually has some strength and body to it. So that's it. Some duct tape, a couple cereal boxes, and you're set. For more great ideas that use recycled materials as well as duct tape, come and check us out at Sophie-World.com.